Hey, Above Life channel. Hi. Hi, nice to see you. Kind of. I'm actually going to record this and then upload it so you can see it. I said that I would do an example of a service that I offer, which is personal psychic energetic forecast. I've done these for the last several years for people. I have some reoccurring clients that use them every single month. And it's just kind of a cool way to get a psychic reading, but to do it in a way that you're really empowered and that you can use to kind of navigate through your month ahead. And so what I do is I have a format that I use. I actually designed a worksheet several years ago, utilizing the concept of a compass for our brain, like with the directions, north, south, east, and west, just the four basic ones. And then also the Native American medicine wheel over the top of that with the alignment of the energies of the elements. So it would be the wheel that I use is air, fire, earth, and water. And then the center. I have the center as center core. And as for the directions, the center core. And the element is light. Okay, so that's how it works. And then what I do is I choose a power word that comes through as I'm doing the reading of your energy for the month ahead. So I choose a power word that either plugs in or stands out or is a way that you can use to navigate. Like if you're going to punch in some directions into your Google Maps, like that, you use the word. And it's very vibrational. This is all very energetic and vibrational. Okay. And then you'll also get a spirit guide. It might be a totem animal. It could be a saint, a deity, a god, goddess aspect. It could be an archangel. Sometimes you'll get like a color or a chakra or something like that that will come through as well. So that just gives you an example of how this works. And so I'm going to do this for Sam. And she allowed me to be able to do this instead of doing it privately for her, which I would record a video for her. That would be about 20 to 25, maybe upwards of 30 minutes in length, and go through this wheel and do an energy reading for the month ahead. But she would have ordered it in like the middle of September for October. So if you want one for November, I usually do 5 to 7, 5 to 8 during the month. Kind of depends on the bandwidth and schedule, what I have going on. So you can order one of these if you'd like. You can just request it by sending an email to abovelifechannel@gmail.com, or you can click on the link in the description below this video, and it's the top link. And you can click on that, and it's to my schedule, and you'll see in the middle of the month, there'll be a couple of spots to choose for this. Now, it's not an interactive thing. It's just you choose the date so that I have an opportunity to be able to then get it ready for you. And then you get it right before the start of the next month. So even if you order it like October 10th, you won't get it until right before the next month begins, because otherwise there's too much overthinking, I think, that happens. So then the idea is, as you go back and you watch it based upon each of the weeks of the month. So I divide out the weeks of the month in that rhythm again, that linear kind of thinking pattern that the mind focuses on. And I move through the month using that compass, that wheel overlay each of the weeks of the month. So we break it down by each week. All right. So since we've already started in October, the first week will be a little bit basic, and this won't be quite as long as it normally is because I won't go through the whole first week because we're already past that. So, all right, Sam, so here you go. And for all the rest of you, you can go ahead and listen and take in anything that seems to apply to you or feels in alignment with you as well, because oftentimes there's patterns. We have patterns to energy, and so you may resonate or relate to this. but it's an idea or a way for you to see kind of how I work when I do these personal energy forecast readings. A personal video for you or in an audio format. Sometimes I do them just audio. Either one. You'll either get a video or audio, whatever. All right. So, Sam, this is your personal energy forecast for the month of October 2024. All right. So, we begin by connecting into your energy, aligning with your higher self, your spiritual helpers, your highest good, the energy of God, creator, source, universe, cosmic consciousness, as we connect in to do this session for you. All right. So I take notes. I do a little wheel and I take notes before I start. And then I open up from there. I just have little kind of bullet points that come through. All right. So the first is the energetic dates of the 1st through the 5th. Oh, I just realized I did not put the full moon and new moon dates. I'm going to have to grab those here. Just a second. I got to grab my calendar. I got my paper calendar here. Let's see. The new moon is on the 2nd. Got to write that down because those are energetic hot spots. The 2nd new moon. We already passed that one, but let's find out when the full moon is. The 17th. I'm using Central Standard Time, so if you're in a different time zone, you have to convert it. All right, the 17th full moon. Okay. All right. Those are 2 extra dates. If there was like a holiday in here, I would put that down. I do have Samhain, which is October 31st. This month is a little bit weird because you got October 31st and then November 1st, which it could be the start of the Celtic wheel vibrationally, unless you use the astral wheel, then it's a little bit different. It's a couple more days into the start of November, but so it's a little bit weird, but we're going to roll with it. All right. So we start off right away with Archangel Ariel. So sometimes I'll get an overarching theme for the month, or maybe one spirit guide that's kind of a lead for you, like the coach for the month. And I have Archangel Ariel. Now she comes in with a beautiful purple energy that's often connected with the crown chakra. It's very divine feminine. Kind of feels like there's a little halo over your head. And it's like a purple, light purple color. Oftentimes when I see a halo or an arc over people's heads, like their aura kind of thing, usually it's very, very white when it comes off the top of the head. Sometimes it's gold. For you, it's very purple right now, but it's a lighter purple. It's not a Metatron purple, like the gray lilac lavender. It's definitely a Archangel Ariel, divine feminine, crown chakra purple. So it feels like you've been having some issues with your brain. Like your brain's not on board, or your brain is tripping you up, which often happens for us as empaths, right? So your brain has not been very helpful lately, or it's been scattered. A little bit of ADHD or ADD, actually, it looks like. And it also looks like you're tired. It looks like you're fatigued. Like I literally see eyes that are like heavy or soft or tired. Now, this could also mean that as you step into the month of October, it could be a time when your spiritual helpers and your healing guides are actually talking to you in your dream state or meditation state. Okay, so it's possible that you're getting energetic support and maybe even messages from your spirit guides or clues or hints or symbols in your dreams or your meditation. So just be aware of that there's a lot of support there. It's very divine feminine, so it's very feminine spiritual helpers, very feminine spiritual helpers, okay? It's not to say masculine's not around, it's just to say that the divine feminine is strong for you this month in October, okay? All right, so we start out with the first week of October, which is the 1st through the 5th. The element is air. The direction is north. Okay, so air is about, for you, it's tapping into the energy of change. soft and gentle, sweeping change, kind of moving into the next thing. It's very gradual and gentle. It also feels like you've asked for clarity. And so they're kind of cleaning some dust up, sweeping things up, getting the floor kind of cleaned. That's the vibe I get. Okay, so cleaning some things up, but it's very gentle, sweeping, very gentle with the air element during this entire week. And the direction is north, so it sets the tone for the month. The vibration I got, I think, is because in part because I already fed them. They've all eaten, including Louie. Sorry. I fed all the dogs, including Louie. I'll tell you in a minute. Sorry. Probably because we're already done with the first week of the month. So I'm just going to kind of summarize what I got, which was short, brief, quiet, and clean. And the second was the new moon, and it feels like Archangel Michael was present this week. So Archangel Michael, that beautiful light blue energy, that true blue energy, which helps you to understand what's right for you, what's true for you, like what's real here, because there's kind of some question here. It almost looks like there's some, okay, I got to be careful about how much I say because I want to really respect your privacy and confidentiality at the same time as I want to give an example. So I'm not going to get as in depth as I might if this was private. It's not going to be private. It's public. So it looks like there may be some challenges with the mind and thinking clearly and the heart. So there might be some emotional pressure on the mind. Does that make sense? Yes. All right. So I'm also getting now, as I'm tapping into this with Archangel Michael and Archangel Ariel together. So Michael represents the divine masculine, Ariel represents the divine feminine, and the partnership between. It's like the mother and father energies. There's an opportunity here to come together for a mending of the fences for you inside of you. So whatever has pulled that energy apart in the past, whether you've been working with a counselor or in therapy or anything like that, with mother-father trauma or mother-father challenges or the energetic of what masculine and feminine represents to you. It could be that. It could be like, I'm not sure where I fall on this spectrum when it comes to this energetics for myself in my life of masculine, feminine energy. So you can interpret that however you choose to. I'm being kind of open and vague when I'm talking about this because, again, it's like this could be very personal for you, and I don't want to get too deep publicly here. So, okay, and then, but I feel like there's a openness, like your heart is open, even though there's some anxiousness too. But I think the anxiousness is just a past thing, and it feels like it's connected to some kind of stress or trauma. And again, the masculine, feminine, and very specifically mother, father. Now, this could be a lean on an ancestral vibe. Maybe you've been doing ancestral work. Maybe you had something come up recently in a session. You had a psychic session, a healing session, a massage session, something. There's something that's come up for you that you're seeking support in or on. That's just a validation of that, or just hey, this is what I'm reading in the energy. Okay. It might not be that specific. It might be something different, but you get kind of an example. It's so hard to do this kind of vague, but remember, this is just an energy forecast. This is not predicting. This won't be exacting or too detailed because it's open. So this hasn't, like when we move into the next weeks here, it hasn't happened yet. And so there's this openness about helping to guide you, giving you kind of bumpers, like at the bowling alley when you're rolling the ball down the aisle and creating your life, co-creating it. This just gives you some additional support, insight, and that sense of that you're not alone. Okay, you're not alone in this. All right. I'm not going to do a word for the week because we already did it. If I did choose the word, it would probably be gentle. There's actually a word that comes through right now. It's grace, GRACE, which is leaning on forgiveness a bit. There's a lot coming through, actually. grace, forgiveness coming in. Okay. The next week, honoring again, just a little nod to the new moon energy that was on the 2nd. And now we are the east, the direction of east, which tends to be a little more exotic. Sometimes it's sensual, could be passionate, following your passions. It could be physical. Something's flaring up in your body. It could be, and it is connected with the fire element. But for you, my dear, it's the solar energy. So instead of direct fire, like clearing or a candle, like a vigil, it's really solar energy for you, which again is divine masculine, traditionally speaking. So that's coming through here for you for the calendar dates of the 6th through the 12th. And the imagery that I got, because I'm clairvoyant, so I see a lot of stuff, so I'll get symbols and metaphors through vision. I got the sunset, and it's a closing out of something. So it's a letting go of something, releasing into something. Again, the energy though feels softer. It doesn't feel intensive. And at the same time, there's still not clarity here. There's not clarity. It's a little foggy. It's overcast. Okay. So you can't see clearly. It's a little foggy, smoggy, but enough that you can see the energy of the sunset, the beautiful sunset. And the sunset is triggering for you an ending, like a completion of a cycle, invitation for a release, or it could be contemplation to soften the energy, like the first week, which had the gentleness in it, kind of the gentle vibe, and the grace and the forgiveness. It might be related to that, to continue to support that. To be clear, it doesn't mean you need to take action and forgive. It doesn't mean you need grace because you haven't had it. It's not like that. There's no judgment here when we're reading the energy. There's just interpretation, which is mine. So use your own discernment, feel into your belly, use your knower to say, this is what this means for me, or this is what this means for me. And if it doesn't make sense to you, set it aside. You don't need to go make it fit, okay? You really got to trust the process together, okay? Use your own intuition. All right, so the power word is summit. Summit. Like I had this vision of this mountain and this little cloud around the mountain, like the fuzzy kind of fogginess. And then you're standing on top of the mountain and you watch the sunset and you can see all this stuff here, all this beautiful support that's helping to guide you. Again, here we go. Come up to Archangel Ariel vibes again, kind of can see all this, but yet you look down at the human day-to-day life and how do you implement this stuff? Like based upon what you know, how do you help yourself feel better? How do you move on from situations that have been holding you back? How do you do that? How do you let yourself even just be conscious of these things? And it's not about, again, I'm getting this really strong. It's not about forgiving other people. It's about softening your heart to yourself, forgiving yourself, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so judgy. And it's easy for us as empaths to do that. Everybody can relate to that. Everybody that's watching this. Your heart is so empathic. Okay, let's be gentle with that heart. So summit is the power word. And so to me, summit can kind of represent the energetic of a goal, or it could be a perspective. So you could take a word like perspective and use that instead of summit. Again, it's not intended to be this big challenge and you have to get up to the top. You're at the top. You're where you're at. You can see, sense, and gather and connect with the higher beings, powers, energies, your spirit guides, your soul, your energetic knowing. You can connect with all of that. You have access to all of that. But in the real day-to-day life, it doesn't make sense, or it's not common sensically for you at this point, which is fine because most of us, it's not. And by the way, it doesn't ever get like that necessarily. It doesn't get easy. It just gets more understandable, I guess. There kind of becomes this, it's just the way it is kind of thing. It's a little weird, but hey, I got this info. Instead of questioning it, just let it coexist with you for a while. Let it kind of be around here like that air element, okay? So the solar sun energy is about the completion of a cycle. And it's that divine masculine strong support in doing so. Okay. And then I get this image of like closing a door. So that's interesting. And you're closing it. Nobody else is doing it. Nobody's kicking you out. Nobody's pushing you, forcing you. You're doing it. So your higher self is doing it by choice. Like it's something that you set into motion or that you have agreed to as part of your plan and your life at this point. Okay. All right. So then the next, again, let me just kind of see if there's any. The only kind of spirit guide I would see might be a totem animal of a camel. So, which might seem weird, but it's not actually. You can Google so you have homework, okay? You got to look up the totem animal meaning of camel. So I see a camel with like 2 humps on it. And so to me, that energy means I have what I need as I'm on this leg of the journey. Because I think of a camel and I think of like being in the desert and I think of it being so hot and so parched and all that. And the camels store all the water, right? They store water. Like they don't need to constantly be sourcing the water because they've built up for this. They're ready for this. They're prepared for the journey. And so the fact that there's 2 humps, I can see the 2 humps on the camel. To me, that means that you are not alone. You are prepared. Yeah, there's a 2 to the energy of the number 2. So again, this is the calendar dates in October of the 6th through the 12th. Okay. All right. So take that into account and interpretation as it fits for you. So the 3rd week is the energy of Earth. So we come home to Earth. It's like the home base, that balance from the North energy. So it's the 3rd week. We come in, and we just kind of come into this place, right? The direction is south. So the south is the going home direction. Okay. This can also be a very metaphysical, energetic for some people. It can be very spiritual for some people. For you, I feel like, okay, so the calendar dates are the 13th through the 19th. It feels like there's a birthday this week. There's some kind of, there's an energy that feels like a birthday. I don't know if it's yours, somebody you're related to. It could even be a beloved pet. Now, a birthday could also be a transition date. So it could be the anniversary of somebody's passing as well, because they would celebrate this like it's a big deal because they're reborn. They're starting anew or afresh, or they're into the afterlife. And it's a very beautiful, supportive, enjoyable kind of a vibrational energy, okay, for that. So, but there's definitely this feeling of birthday, like there's this celebration of something and there's a crossing over into, so like a threshold or transition. Now, if there isn't an actual physical birth date of you, of somebody in your family, of beloved pet, or like a transition or a death date for somebody, an anniversary of that, it could signify a shift for you, like a big shift, like a soul shift. Like then I would suggest that you maybe check into your astrology and find out what part of your chart is impacted or affected this week, or what, based upon your sign, you could look up like Chani, Chani, and find out what, for whatever your sign is, your Aries or whatever it is, what's up for this week for you. Again, the 13th through the 19th, okay, October 2024, because something's up with that. It feels like there's a shift. Okay, if it's not a birth date or a death date, it's a shift for you, a soul date. It's a soul date, some type of soul date. Okay, the power word is soft here, soft, but it's like this, the energy I get is like tread lightly, be soft with yourself, with your words, with your actions. This isn't a force, do, just push through. This is not that time. This is the week, the direction is south. You're coming home energetically into this body, the embodiment, and you're with the earth energy. There's a lot of burgundy here, deep red here. There's an opportunity to feel support from the physical earth or the spirit guide of earth, Gaia. Okay. There is a bit of like a Mary Magdalene or Mother Mary. There's a Mary energy here. So if you don't have an ancestor that's actually named Mary, like a grandmother or great grandmother, this could be a Mary Magdalene or a Mary. It does feel kind of Christian-like vibe. I mean, I'm not super into like calling out the religions here, but it feels like that. So there's some kind of like a presence of a divine feminine energy that's like a leadership energy that kind of is like someone who has been the feeling, the storyline is someone who has not been recognized for their contribution and yet has made a very important contribution. But the story and the actual life don't quite match up because the story seems normal. And maybe it's one of hardship, but the truth is the way it's told, it's this big, really special thing, but you don't realize it when you're in it kind of thing. So this might be a metaphor for your life and where you're at right now. You might be dealing with something that doesn't seem like that big of a deal, and you're doing stuff like maybe to help other people or be in service, and it is a really big deal. Or maybe you're going to school and it's hard. Maybe you're in a place where it's just hard to keep going. But the truth is be gentle with yourself and be soft because you're doing it. You are doing it. You are making things happen because the universe is collaborating to support you. And that energy of these strong women, these Mother Mary and these Mary Magdalene energetics with the divine feminine and the Gaia earth energy are nurturing you and supporting you to encourage you to do that. So it could be like you're changing a career path, or you're climbing up the career ladder, or you're applying for a new job, or you're moving to a new place, or you've applied for something, or you're applying yourself is the vibe I get. So it might be a school thing or a career thing, but it feels like it feels like this is taking forever. This is taking forever. This is taking forever. It's not. The time is going to pass anyway. Stay the course. All right. So the energy is soft. Be support and quiet. Be quiet. And your totem here is the seal. I saw a seal, which reminded me of being in San Diego and seeing the seals on the rocks below the shores in La Jolla. And it's been years since I've been there, but I've been there twice in my life, and that I remember anyway. And the seal totem sitting on the rock, just being all warm in the sun, that energy vibe. So look up the totem animal meaning of seal. Okay, so you've had a couple totem animals. You had the camel last week, and now you have the seal. Again, the dates are the 13th through the 19th. Now the 17th is the full moon, which brings an opportunity for clarity. Okay, and for you in particular, it feels like clarity, but it doesn't feel like a big baha moment. It feels like oh, okay, that makes sense now. Okay, I get it. That's what it comes. It's like a quiet clarity. It's like oh, something just kind of clicks. It's not like a massive aha moment, earth shattering. It's just like oh, okay. All right. I think that this is an uneventful week for you, and it's just kind of more calm, more chill. So don't let your brain make it dramatic. It doesn't need to be. All right. So the next dates on the calendar are the 20th through the 26th. We lean into the direction of west, which is usually an opening of opportunity. If you're going to do something or take action on a plan, oftentimes this week of the month would be the best week to do that. The direction is west. The element is water. Water supports flow. It supports abundance. If you have a business and you're launching something, this is a good week to do that. If you're making an investment, this is a good week to do that. If there's a major purchase you want to make, this is a good week to do that. And the 20th through the 26th of October. All right. The power words, though, it's a phrase, and it's hold on. Hold on. And I don't get the feeling of like, hold on, like a desperation. I get the feeling of like, hold on, like you can do it. Like you got this, that kind of vibe. Not hold on, like, oh my God, hold on, don't let go. Oh my God, not like that, but like, hold on. You can do this. Like, it's like a pause, a breathe in, a pause. The current can take you away and sweep you away really quickly. Take a pause moment, align yourself, body, mind, heart, and soul, body, mind, heart, and soul during this water week. Water is very dominant. And so it can get overwhelming, especially as empaths. Okay. So water is emotion, in motion, flowing, fluid, but it's also flexible. And it's also life-giving. And it's also a balancing energy from that camel. Remember when we talked about water and the camel and the two humps and then going and making the journey? This is the balancing out of that. Okay, when it wasn't that, it was like the fire element was present. The solar energy was there. Now it's water. It's much more of a different kind of vibe. All right. It's more action oriented. It's more flow state oriented, and not in a chill way. It's in a more of a, okay, we're picking up the pace a little bit. So hold on before you just jump into something. You could feel really impulsive. Just make sure that you're really in alignment. And but I feel like there's kind of an excitement, like a little bit of an exhilaration, like, yeah, this feels good. Yeah, this feels right. And so trust yourself. Trust yourself. Check with yourself. And if it doesn't feel right, then don't do it. Just wait. Just wait. If somebody asks you something and you don't know the answer, or the answer is something you know is not what they want to hear, just say, hey, I need some time. I need some time to process that. Give me a chance to check on that. Let me think about that. Let me ponder that, and I'll get back to you. Or just say, hey, I'll get back to you, and that's it. Because you need space. You need some space for yourself, some room for your intuition to kind of come forward and to take the lead, and let yourself do that. The power animal is a seahorse, which is super interesting because seahorse kind of has it. The male seahorses, I love this. This is so cool. Seahorses are so unique and beautiful, and I love them myself. And as a totem animal, seahorses are so cool because the male seahorses are the ones that have, like, they carry the babies, and which is such a cool balance when you're talking about the axis across from the second week of the month, which was the 6th through the 12th. And that was also a little masculine energy with the sun's chakra. And now here we are with during the water week, which is very, very, very feminine, after Earth week, which is also very, very, very feminine. You have now this seahorse that's showing up saying, hey, this is the divine masculine supporting the divine feminine in what? The co-creation of life, the co-creation. So this is a little energetic of collaboration, to give you a moment of pause, to give you the permission to have the room and space you need before you have to just jump into something, to just really feel things out, feel it through for yourself. There's not a right answer or a wrong answer. There's just where you're at. Okay. So again, the seahorse is very unique and special. Again, look up that totem animal. You get a lot of animals. You got a lot of animals, and you got 2 water animals with the seal and the seahorse, which is very interesting. And for the 5th week of the month, which is the 27th through the 31st. Again, I'm looking down at my little worksheet I have, because I have a worksheet that I use, a pattern that I created and designed that I can move through. So I take notes on that. And then when I get to it and I start to connect to it, then I open up and then I share whatever I see or sense or feel for you. That's how the personal energy forecasts works. Okay. And again, they're an audio or a video, usually my choice. Okay. And they're personal just for you, and they're private. I just send them to you, and you get the link, and it's unlisted. Then you can share it with whoever you want to. I don't care. But it's not public like this one is. This one's an example for, and Sam said that I could do this for her here publicly. So that's great. So you guys can see what's up. So if you want one, you can order one. All right. So for the 5th week, the 27th through the 31st, we wrap the month with Samhain, the energy of Samhain, which is that kind of leaning into the dark and the energy of the quieter time. Some refer to it as dark feminine. To me, it's just a quiet time. It like signals the beginning of the rest, the respite. Okay, it's sometimes more of an inner time, more of a deeper time to go inside of ourselves. But it can be different for everyone. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be really quiet and not doing anything. It doesn't mean you're inactive. Okay, that's just kind of typically kind of how the energy can feel. All right. So the direction is center core. So it's here. It's right, coming right to your center core. Um, I'm seeing and sensing the heart chakra, and I see roots out of the heart, which tells me then the meridian of your shoulders is trying to balance and ground you during this week, again, the 27th through the 31st. So there's a heart something trying to ground you. So I don't know if maybe there was an argument or a disagreement or a misunderstanding with somebody that matters to you, that you care about. This might be a week that you either have that event that happens or that experience that happens, or you come to terms with that it's something that's already happened in the past, and you come to terms with that. And you find that place in your heart to connect and root yourself, so you feel stable, you feel connected, you feel sourced from that earth energy, that presence of you, of your heart, of your compassion, of your knowing. All right. So it's interesting too that this is a full week. Usually when I'm doing a energy forecast, the last week is usually a shorter week. It just kind of how it works depending upon how many, like when there's 31 days, it usually is a little bit longer, but this is like almost a full week. And so there could be a lot of activity during this time. I think there's some major shifts emotionally, is how it feels to me, which might be a little bit of a lingering from the energy of the 20th through the 26th. So the 20th through the 31st could be a time for you where you're contemplating a change, or you're dealing with some emotional stuff. Okay. And so it's a really important thing to use your tools that help you feel grounded and centered and connected, and to maybe make that call to your therapist just so you have additional person to talk to and bounce ideas off of, or to phone a friend and ask for some additional support or help, etc. Or be out in nature if you can do that. Take more breaks and make sure you're really taking care of your body during this time, because when there is change and shift, the energy that moves through the body that gets processed can do so more quickly if you are healthier. Okay. And if you're not, just ask your spirit guides and your healing helpers to support you, to guide you, to love you through this time. So speaking of spiritual helpers, you have another totem animal. Like, you've had a couple of archangels, and you have like tons of freaking totem animals, obviously very empathic. You have a horse. So horse for me represents two major things. One is healing or healer, and the other is intuition. So there's a huge capacity for you here to accept and receive the support from your spirit guides and from yourself. Really mining your own inner wisdom, but that only comes when you can trust yourself. And that is a practice that is difficult for many of us. It's like, how do you just let go and trust yourself? How do you do that? I mean, it can be very tricky, especially when you're dealing with metaphysical things and things you just kind of feel or sense. And it's not like this logical, rational thing or progression. It's just this strong sense of knowing. And so the most important thing is to support yourself and to honor yourself and respect yourself and have integrity within yourself as you are moving through and navigating life. All right. So I also see there are two additional energies that I see right now, and they're colors, and there's two circles, and there's one that's a big purple one, which is kind of how we started, I guess, right? With the halo and the arc. And there's a smaller one in the center. It almost looks like a target, and it's blue, but it's a dot in the center. And so to me, that blue could represent third eye, so clairvoyant. So it's possible you could be getting visions, you could be having vivid dreams, you could be getting some things in metaphor or symbol. So pay attention to that. And the big purple energy, there's just tons of divine feminine around you, just a lot of divine feminine. Again, this is the week, the 27th through the 31st. Okay. All right, you guys. I'm not going to keep going or go deeper. Oh, I do need a power word. What is the power word for this week? That's interesting. Motivation. Ooh, motivation. This isn't a judgment, not a criticism. Motivation. It's like, we hope that this personal energetic forecast for you, Sam, for October 2023 October 2024. October 2024 will be motivating to you. It'll be inspiring and uplifting and encouraging. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. If you are interested in getting one of these for yourself, yours will be different, of course. I'll be more personal with it because it won't be this public thing. And yeah, it'll be unique to you. And if you want to do that, you need to order it before the middle of the month so I have time to do it. Or you can send a request to me at abovelifechannel@gmail.com or click on the link below for my schedule in the description of this video. All right. Thanks so much for watching Above Life Channel.